Hey folks, I published a ukulele songbook, and at the bottom of each page I have a little stick figure of myself, and I would love to have that stick figure be linkable to the index at the bottom of the songbook that is songs by artists. But I make the songbook in Microsoft Word, and I have not been able to discover a way to make that link, that picture link in Word work once I convert it to a PDF. And I love the functionality of Word. I can have it automatically make an index for me. So I really like working in Word. But then when I want to publish it to a PDF, because everybody has access to opening up a PDF where they don't have access to opening up a Word document, I have not been able to figure out a way. If you know a way to do it, please indicate it in the comments below, because it would save me a lot of time, save everybody a lot of time. But so I've come up with a workaround that may work for you, it may not. The reason it works for me is because I have several hundred pages, and I have this image at the bottom of each page. And even though the image isn't linkable, I have a link that is in that image, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. And the people that use it will either eventually stumble across it, or I will tell them about it. And then once they know about it, they can they can use those links to get to the alphabetical index at the bottom of the document very easily. Anyway, I'll show you more about how that works. But at any rate, this is what I use. Hopefully it will be beneficial to you. If not, keep looking, and maybe someday that functionality will be there. Alright folks, so I'm going to make a couple assumptions that you kind of already know how to make a hyperlink in Word, and I'll explain to you what I've got here. I've got a songbook. You can see here that at the bottom left hand corner I've got 485 pages in the songbook, and the songbook's basically just song sheets. And at the bottom of each one, I have a image, a stick drawing of myself, and I have a link that takes us back to the index. And if we click on that, it takes us to an index at the top of the document, which has a list of song titles alphabetically. But I also have a link to an index of songs listed by artist, which is at the very bottom. Now, there's kind of an Easter egg in this document, in that if you go here to my image, that hyperlinks to that song list at the very bottom. So if you're on any particular song list, you can either go back to the top and look by songs by the title name, or you can click over here and go to the list that is by artist. Now, if I click on this, if you'll notice, there's a little underlined dot, an underlined period, that will take us back to our song by artist. Alright, so you can also click, in the Word document, you can also click on that and on the image, and it will take you down to the bottom. But when I convert this to a PDF, the hyperlink of the image breaks. And so therefore, in the actual PDF version, the only thing that works is this little underlined dot. So what I've done is I've taken and created a text box, and inside that text box I put a dot, and I underlined it so that way it's visible, there's something visible there, and then I inserted my image inside that text box, and then when I put this at the bottom of each page, I just copy that. I hyperlink the dot, the underlined dot, to my index at the very bottom, and then when I create a new page, I just copy that outer text box, not the inner image text box, because you could do that too. That's not what we're looking to do. You can see that this one here is just the image. It's missing the dot, the underlined dot part. So in the PDF version, it wouldn't work. So here we have the PDF version, and you can see there is no hyperlink to the image. There is a hyperlink to the underlined dot. And if somebody is in this document and they get close to my image, the cursor changes, and they might get a clue that there's a link there. If somebody's using this document on a regular basis and they figure that out, they'll know just to click on the underlined dot, and then it will take them to the song by artist index. So again, I can't really find a way to hyperlink from the Word document to the PDF, but by creating a text box with my small image in it and putting a dot there. It does give me the hyperlink capability that I'm looking for, although it may not be as big as I would normally like. But it does work. So that might be an option for you, maybe not. So at this point, I'll kind of go over, for those of you that aren't familiar with this process, how I did this. All right, so I would go to Insert, and then over here I would pick Text Box, just pick the simple text box, and then here I would just put a dot, and whoops, I'm sorry, I put a period, and then actually I put a couple underline characters there if you want to, and then you could actually underline by going to the Home tab, underline your period, depending on how big you want that. I think I just went with one space, a period plus one space of underlined character. And then the next thing I did was I inserted my image. So if I go over here to Insert Pictures, I would click that and select my image that I want to insert into that. In this case, I already actually have my image over here, so I'm just going to save some time, copy that, paste it in here, format my text box. I could put, do that however I want, but essentially that's what I got there. And then the next thing I would do is I would highlight my text, because this is basically a text, even though it's just a underlined period. Word sees it as a text. I would underline my text, and then I can right click on it, tell it that I want to hyperlink, and then in this case I'm hyperlinking to someplace that's inside my document. So I place this in this document, and I'm wanting to go all the way down here to the song by artist, because that text I've told it is a headline, and my word will automatically index all my headlines. So song by artist is a headline, tell it OK, and then now when I click on this, it will jump me down to my song by artist thing. Now in this case I don't need a box around it. You could leave the box if you wanted to, but I would just go to Format Shape, and then tell it, as far as a line goes, that I want no line, and then my box will disappear. And then again, I can copy and move this guy around if I want to. Control C, and then of course Control V will paste, or you can go up to the top menus, however you like to do that. So again, that's how I'm doing it. Hopefully it'll work for you. Alright, so that's the way I do it. Again, it may not work for your application. It may work very well, in which case I'm happy to help. And again, if you come across a way to link an image in Microsoft Word that still works once you put it into PDF format, I would absolutely love to hear about it.